listening to Speaking with One Voice with Rodney Payne. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, topics you'd like discussed on the show, or if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at rpayne@onevoiceinc.org. That's rpayne@onevoiceinc.org. You can also search for us on Acast, Google Play, SoundCloud, and iTunes. Just look for Speaking with One Voice. Now, here's your host, Rodney Payne.
Hello and welcome to Speaking with One Voice. I am your host, the coach, Rodney Payne, back again with you this week to add value to you and your leadership team. Let me just pause and do two things. One is thank you for staying in our community. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up, not just for us, but for yourself. When a leader is willing to invest in themselves, it changes the game and you can continue to elevate your leadership lid. And so I'm excited that you're here. I want to thank you. We're seeing growth on all of our platforms, so we're excited about that. So thank you for liking the podcast, rating it. Thank you for sharing it with others. And thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel at Rodney R. Payne. Remember, we're all things at Rodney R. Payne, whether it's our social media or our YouTube channel. Even our website is rodneyrpayne.com. And wherever you connect with us, please connect with us. Drop us a line. Listen, is there a topic you'd like for me to discuss? Send it to me and maybe I'll get to it. Perhaps you might even want to be a guest. Every now and then I actually do guests on the show. So if you want to come in and be a guest, you've got a desirable topic for us, let us know. I'd love to collaborate with you or your team. So let's get into this thing. This week, I want to talk to you about the role of diversity in leadership. Now, I understand that in our current climate and culture, there has been much debate and discussion as it relates to this thing called diversity. Well, when I talk about diversity, I'm not talking about ethnicity. I'm talking about differences and the power of collaboration and leveraging diversity in leadership. So my leadership model is this. I don't believe in duplicative leadership. Okay, I believe in extending leadership. And what that would mean is if I had a team of 10 people, I don't need 9 more of me. I've got that role covered, and one of me is enough. My wife and my children have assured me the world doesn't need another me. But that extending leadership is when it's me plus you, plus you, plus you. What it supports is this. There's not one person in the room that's as smart as all people collectively in the room. And so we leverage this thing. So how we get there is by having differences in our thinking that allow us to diversify and to grow. So when we think about this roles and responsibilities and we're trying to grow our team and grow our perspectives, we don't want everyone in the room to look like us, walk like us, talk like us, and think like us. What we want is we want people who have same character, integrity, the same values. The values must be the same, but the perspectives and the other parts of our business can be diverse. It's hard to work with us if we don't have the same value system and the same things aren't important to us. But if you see the high way or I see the low way or I see the paper way, you see the technology way, that's diversified thought processes, and that helps us to deliver to our diversified client portfolio. Understand that in today's world, we are literally living with 5 living generations. We have 4 for sure that are working in the workplace. And so when that happens, you're going to have a difference of clientele as well as a difference in employee base. So our goal is to enhance team effectiveness through diversity in our leadership. So we want to implement and promote strategies and disciplines that effectively capture every strength of our leadership team, every strength of our organization. So if you want to do that, you got to really, first of all, take time to understand diversity and leadership. As I stated at the top of the show, listen, diversity encompasses more than just race and gender. Those are the 2 biggies that we've separated over forever. We are in a modern day that it requires us to be more thoughtful than just male, female, or whatever ethnicity versus what other ethnicity. It's about your background, your upbringing, your experiences. It's about your culture. It's about how you serve. One of the things that you have to understand when looking at this diversified approach is that we want to be clear here that I'm trying to leverage all of our strengths. That's really what we're trying to do is how do we take and harness and capture the best of you in our situations, the best of you, right? We want to do the best of you and the best of me. That how do I get all of that? How do I get there, right? That becomes a big deal for us, and I want you to think about that as you're looking at this. So you're looking for strengths, right? You're looking for your strengths. You're looking for who is the best. What are they the best at? How can they do what they do? And then how do we leverage that and bring it all together? So the benefit of diverse perspectives when it comes to decision making is when you have diverse teams, they typically perform better. Some statistics show that you have 35% more likely to outperform other teams when diversity is a part of your decision making. So think about this. If you have some people who make decisions very quickly, they're impulsive decision makers. You have some who are collaborative decision makers. They want to know what everyone else thinks. Then you have some who are critical. They're going to think through every detail in how they make those decisions. And then you have some who are waiting on somebody else to make the decision. Some who are spontaneous. When you take the benefit of the whole and bring everyone together, now what you get is you get the best possible decision with the most possible considerations. And that's going to make your organization more effective. It's so important for us to consider how do we get that. Now, communication is going to be critical. Communication is going to be critical, right? If you're going to have this many people in the room, which you should, how do we do that? Well, you have to have what I call respectful communication at the table. Don't overtalk. Don't go back and banter that's combative. Allow people to finish their thought. Listen to hear and to understand, not just to respond and comment. Be open-minded. Be willing to hear what someone else is saying. Do you see how this works? If I can listen because my perspectives are different. I grew up on a farm. And so I believe strongly, maybe too strongly, but I believe in an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. I am allergic to laziness. Oh my goodness. I'm allergic to laziness. I'm allergic to apathy. Stop making excuses and stop whining and complaining. So if everything goes my way, it'll be a hard work, hard work, hard work. Well, someone else may prefer that we make a decision that's more conducive to balance, where you have time where all day, every day, all day is not the work strategy. We have time where we encourage vacations. You know what? Transparent moment. We're a community. You guys are part of the One Voice family. I went probably 25 years into my career, maybe 30. We'll stop there because otherwise I'd have to be older and I can't be older. So we'll just stop there without ever using all of my PTO. I'm sorry. I just didn't. I did not. I didn't grow up missing work, didn't believe in missing work. And so I would come to work sick. That is so bad. And I have learned through diverse perspectives how bad it is and why it's bad. So now, being an entrepreneur, I don't necessarily have vacation, but I literally take time each week to have balance. How did I get there? It came from diverse perspectives that taught me that if I would take that time, I would be better when I was in the game. I wouldn't be worn out. So now I take time for myself every week. I take time for me. I date my wife at least once, but usually 3 times. I'm talking about a date. Now, a date could be going to dinner. A date could be going for a drive. A date could be watching a show where we hang out together and we give that time exclusively to one another. These perspectives came from diverse thinking that expanded me and helped me to be better and be a better performer. That's what you want to do. You want to perform better yourself and you want your brand to perform better. So when you think about the impact on the success of the business, what studies show us from Deloitte, it says companies with inclusive cultures enjoy 22% higher profitability. Think about that. When we have a better culture, when we have inclusive, where everybody feels that they're a part of this thing, it increases our bottom line. And everyone's in business to and you get to define your success how you define your success, but everyone wants a measure of success in your business. And if you don't make enough money to keep the doors open, it's hard to call it successful. So, how do you do all of these things and meet your needs, your goals, your objectives? Well, you do it with diversity. That's what you do. You include other people in every process within the framework, in the hiring. You have to be intentional. You have to be intentional. If you want to be a brand that serves all people, people don't do business with brands that don't look like all people unless they look like all people. So if you want to be a diverse brand where you're servicing many people from various cultures and various places, you have to have representation of those various. If you're only a senior citizen company, great, you can market to senior citizens only. But if you're a family organization, you're going to have to market to the parent, to the child, to the grandparent, to the uncle, everyone. So that's where diversity comes in. And I want you to think about this because we cannot all be the same, think the same, do the same. That limits our capacity. It limits our success. It limits our impact. And leaders are people who solve problems, who have influence and want to make an impact. You are listening to Speaking with One Voice with your host, the coach, Rodney Payne. So glad to be with you this week as we are talking about the role of diversity in leadership. I want to just reiterate with you real quickly that when we look at diversity, we're not just talking about race or gender. We're talking about people types, philosophical types. But remember, the one non-negotiable in my world is that you must share the same character and integrity traits within the organization. You must be a good fit for the culture, but that doesn't mean we have to be the same in every area. Let's dig a little bit deeper. When you think about your policies, are they inclusive? Where do they fit? Can anyone in your organization find a path to success? Do you have a way that we can navigate within the culture, within the company, within the brand to get to where we want to be? Or is the brand all about you? When you add diversity, you'll learn how to find that talent. I am a big fan of Patrick Lencioni, the working genius model is a model that I use as well. I'm a big fan of that. It says that you have your working genius. There'll be two areas that are your working genius, two that you are capable of and you can do, and two areas that are your frustration. So when he talks about if galvanizing is you, it says to put people in their, I made up a term using it. I call it my fulfillment zone. When you are in your working genius, it's a place that fulfills you and gives you energy. When you diversify your team, we put people in places where they thrive, some people are planners, some are executors, some are just worker bees, some are visionaries, right? And it takes all of those diverse perspectives to give us the success that we want to experience. So I'm counting on you to really own this process of diversity within your organization. So your policies have to be inclusive. Your hiring methods have to be inclusive. The voices that you give at the table during your meetings, that has to be inclusive. So when you think about various companies and brands that you admire, that you find to be successful, what is it about them that makes it where you like what they do? I want you to go and begin to look at that. And when you find an organization, I led an organization, and in this organization, diversity was very difficult. It was a certain people group, and they came together in a certain way at a regular time. I wanted to diversify the group. And so I went to a good friend who had a very diverse group. I said, how do you attract, how do you get the people in this organization from all of these various places? He says, well, what I can't do is I can't cater to one type. I have to make sure that whatever I'm offering, from curriculum to entertainment, from studying to relaxing, I have to offer it for every type of person that I'm trying to attract. He says, because people only go where they see themselves. People only go where they see themselves. So if all you represent or all you present is one type, you're not going to find diversity. It's not going to happen. If you don't promote diversity, it's not going to happen. So when I say diversity, what I'm talking about is leveraging the power of our uniqueness to come together in a group as an organization that's able to effectively serve our key demographic and be able to meet the needs of more than one type of person. Because there are various people types that will still fit your avatar, but they won't come to you if you're not an inclusive person. So in your marketing, in your branding, use verbiage that is conducive to other people types as it relates to specialists in your organization, talent, makeup, whatever the case may be. Because I know that I do business with people who can deliver a product. I do business with people. So I'm almost loyal to a fault. If I find the right kind of brand, I go to eat at the same places. I have not the same place all the time. I have multiple places that I go, and they are different. If I were to use a restaurant method, I would say that they're not all casual fine dining. They're not all American food. They're not all Mexican food or Chinese food. I have different restaurants that I go to. So I have a diverse palette, but every restaurant I go to has consistent character, quality, food, service, etc. You see what I'm saying? So they're different. They're not the same. And quite frankly, some of them are not really good for my diet, but I just, some things, listen, carbs are allowed on occasion, right? Sure they are. I like that. So I'm diverse. I go to different types, different places, but when it comes to the type, they're similar. That's the character of our organization. You have to align with us culturally as far as our character goes, but you don't have to eat what we eat. You don't have to drink what we drink. You don't have to focus on the big picture. You can micro focus on your talented area, or you can focus in this. You can be on the collaborative side. You can be on the visionary side. You can be on the execution side. But when we take those skill sets, my friends, that are diverse and we put them together, we have a team. And I'm telling you, that makes us successful. That helps us to achieve our goals. That helps us to grow. If you're like me and direct and an executor and boom, we get it done, to have someone who's contemplative to take the time to look at the details, they'll save you some money. They'll save you some money. So as we keep learning and building on this whole thought behind the place where we are, when we talked about feedback being the catalyst for growth, and we look back and we talked about this whole thing, what we're really talking about is these are all leadership strategies. We talked about SMART goals, leadership strategies. As a leader, you have to have a strategy. And diversity is going to help you get to the next level. What happens when you have a diverse team is you get a significant contribution from many people seeing it differently to create one vision, one view, one goal. That's what happens. And when that happens, it changes everything. It changes absolutely everything. And success becomes the order of the day. My friends, you have been listening to Speaking with One Voice with your host, the coach, Rodney Payne. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please keep sharing. Please keep sharing. And let me give you a takeaway. I try to give you takeaways. Let me just add this really quickly. Take a look at your organization. And don't try to predetermine. But when you take a look at your hierarchy, your leadership team, decide what kind of leader this person is and create a bucket for that type of leader. Then the next leader, do they fit in that bucket, or do they start another bucket? And the next leader. And I want you to see how diverse your team is from a thinking perspective, from an execution or tactical perspective, and from an operational perspective. Do that, and let's check your team out and make sure that we have the blueprint and the footprint that we want to represent our organization. Listen, I am out of time. I'm sorry. I had to give you just a little bit more there, but you have been listening to Speaking with One Voice with your host, Coach Rodney Payne. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking our posts on our social media platforms at Rodney R. Payne. Thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel at Rodney R. Payne. And then, as always, reach out to us, RodneyRPayne.com. Go ahead and schedule your free clarifying strategy session. We'll spend some time together, just you and I. The call will be with me. I promise I'll take the call, get you set up. And then what we'll do is, in that time, is I'm going to learn about you and you'll learn a little bit more about me. And we'll just talk about if it's possible for us to add value to your team. If so, we'll set up a plan and go from there. If not, we'll both be better for the time we spend together. Thank you so much. I am your host, the coach, Rodney Payne. Until next time, my friends, let's keep growing together.
You've been listening to Speaking with One Voice. Please remember to follow Rodney Payne on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Rodney R. Payne. We'd love to hear from you and get your feedback, so please feel free to leave us comments. And if you would, rate and subscribe to the podcast, we'd appreciate that as well. Don't forget to set up for notifications so you can get the latest updates and social media posts and get new podcasts when they're released. As always, use the hashtag Speaking with One Voice or simply SWOV on any of your social media posts. On behalf of Rodney Payne, thanks again for listening.